Palestine has been under constant attack for many decades, and every few years the elites try to distract you from the fact that they are trying to mass enslave you. That gets you focusing and caring about the Palestinians for a few months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years, and then you've moved on to the next thing and you don't care anymore. And this literally happened just a few years ago. The whole world was protesting. Everyone was going on marches. Everyone was posting on social media, trying to raise awareness, kicking up a fuss, literally begging the kuffar to take it easy on them. And then they were taking all these pictures of our brothers and sisters who were suffering, and they were posting them on social media, thinking that this was actually making a difference, thinking that this would actually benefit the people of Palestine. And then everybody just moved on and they started talking about the next thing in the news, which was Russia and Ukraine. Now, my brothers and sisters, I'm gonna ask you a very serious question, and this isn't something that can be discussed in a light-hearted manner, so I will be harsh and I will be blunt and I will get straight to the point, because the Palestinians deserve that from us. If someone came up to you randomly and just started to beat the shit out of you, and I'm talking had you on the floor, bloodied up, crying like a little bitch, and somebody's recorded this entire event and then they've posted it on social media for millions and billions across the world to see, are you gonna feel good about that? Would you appreciate that, and would you see it as them raising awareness so that you don't get beat up again? Or would you find it embarrassing and shameful? And would you find it soul crushing to know that the entire world has seen you in such a weakened state? Because this is exactly what you are doing to your brothers and sisters who are in Palestine. You are bringing shame to your brothers and sisters, to your fellow Muslims, by exposing their weaknesses and showing them in such a poor manner. And you actually believe that you're doing good. Now, I understand you might want to show the buildings being bombed and the destruction, that's fine, but when you're actually showing dead Muslims, dead Palestinians, when you're sharing these videos of the Israeli soldiers pissing on our dead bodies, our brothers and sisters, where's the good in this? Where is the benefit in this? Most of you who are posting this free Palestine bullshit don't actually care about freeing Palestine. You're just doing it for clout. The majority of those who are going to all these protests and going for all these marches, you're not actually benefiting the Palestinians. You're free mixing, you're flirting with the opposite gender, you're having fun with the mandem, or you're just harassing these innocent civilians who've got nothing to do with what's happening in Palestine. Tell me, how does any of this free Palestine? And then there's all these boycotts where you're refusing to buy certain products and services or shop at certain places because a few high-level executives of these multi-global, multinational corporations, they might support Israel, or they've got ties to the IDF, or they donate money to Israel. You would actually make more benefit, more of an impact towards freeing Palestine if you boycotted these people's lives than trying to boycott the businesses which they work for or own. Because the reality is, the people that you are actually hurting the most are not those people at the top. It's not the people who are pro-Israel. It's people like me and you. It's innocent people who have slaved away. They've probably come to this country from third world countries, or they've come from rags to riches. They've slaved away day in, day out, worked at 9 to 5s and done things which they didn't actually want to do, but they knew it was an honest way to earn money so that they could provide a better life for their children. And now you've come along and you've tried to strip them from their livelihood. They've been able to become a franchisee of a well-known establishment so that they can earn money to be able to look after their families, because they're just like us. And you have come along and started boycotting and protesting and turned people away from their businesses. And the worst part is, they will literally manipulate all the statistics and figures in the media to make you think that what you're doing is a good thing. They'll say the stock is down, the share prices are falling, the bad guys are losing money, the good guys are winning, and you feel good and you keep doing what you're doing. The reality is the exact opposite. These multi-billion-dollar corporations don't care about losing a few million or a few billion in their market price, because that is literally you just wiping off a few months in gains. And that's normal, the markets do that anyways, so you've not actually made a big difference. But eventually the world will forget about the Palestinians. They won't be trending anymore, they won't be the main focus in the media, and the people will just move on. And all of these products and services which you enjoyed or you like to buy but you started to boycott because of the whole Palestine stuff, you will eventually start to go back and purchase them again. And all these corporations will continue to make more money than ever before. before. The real people who have actually suffered, the people who have lost the most money, will be the normal people like me and you. The people at the top will keep getting richer. It's the franchisees and the employees who will suffer. They will lose the most money. And if you don't believe me, you are just blind to the truth. And this isn't the first time it's happened, and it definitely will not be the last time, because Allah has promised this. Indeed, Allah will not change the condition of the people until they change what is within themselves. Imagine if your parents had come to this country with nothing but the clothes on their back, grinding it out in the trenches, slaving away day after day just to provide you with a better life. And then they've started to be attacked, harassed, slandered, and forced out of their livelihoods. All because of the decisions and actions of a select few individuals right at the top of the food chain that they didn't even know existed. Would you encourage these attacks against your parents and other people like them? Or would you condemn these attacks? And would you then encourage the people to actually address the real issues, instead of trying to look for scapegoats and easy ways for them to vent their frustrations? If you want to attack the Zionist agenda and if you want to free Palestine, why are you then copying the same tactics that the Zionists are doing by harming and attacking innocent civilians? Obviously, what Israel is doing is 1,000 times worse, because they are massacring innocent Palestinians, and all you're doing is stripping normal people from their sources of income and livelihood, which is still bad, because now you've instilled a fear in them, and in certain extreme situations you're distancing them from Islam, you're pushing them away from our deen, from our religion, and this isn't what Islam teaches. And all of this just so you can feel high and mighty and get a quick ego boost. I can tell you one thing with full certainty: the elites are looking down at you and laughing at your stupidity. They are laughing at how naive you are, because every single year without fail, time after time, once again you have fallen for their tricks and you've allowed them to manipulate you. Think about it for a second. While they're heavily investing into military resources, weapons of mass destruction, strategies and systems that would make the greatest generals of all time live in fear, all so that they can continue to fund this genocide against the Palestinians, you are living in a first world country, marching your entitled ass up and down your local high street, waving about banners and flags which aren't even the flags of the people of Palestine. These flags that you wave were literally created by the Zionists to divide the Ummah, to create borders in the Arab world. And then you're shouting free Palestine. What are you actually trying to achieve? If you actually want to free Palestine, and if you think you're such a bad man, you'll go there and you'll fight in the war. But you don't have the balls, you don't have the guts, so you're not going to do that. So what's the next best thing? It's not walking up and down with banners and flags and protests and boycotting. That doesn't do anything. The next best thing is to be able to give the people of Palestine the resources which they require in order to survive this genocide and in order to fight back. They need to defend themselves in this one-sided war. Boycotting and protesting is not going to help them. Working harder to make more money and then giving more money to fund all these resources which they require is the best solution that we have. Charity is the main thing which you can do which will actually make a difference. So if you're online posting things about Palestine, trying to raise awareness in a manner which doesn't expose the weaknesses of our brothers and sisters and which doesn't involve anything haram, and your intentions are pure and you're doing this in order to raise money for charity to then send it over to those who need it, keep doing what you're doing. And you need to work 10 times harder, because this is exactly what the Palestinians need. Now, I already know that I'm gonna get a ton of hate from this. I know there's gonna be a lot of people publicly and privately attacking me for my views. It doesn't matter, because what I've said today is the objective truth. The people of Palestine don't need your boycotts. They don't need your strikes. They don't need your marches and your protests. They need your support. They need your resources. Now, I've never been to a protest. I've never attended anything. I've never taken part in a boycott. All I do is put my head down and work harder. I show my support in whatever way I can. I make more money and I give more money. And I know for a fact that I've been able to do more and make a bigger impact than any of you clowns who are walking about in the shitty British weather thinking that you're actually gonna free Palestine. These are childish antics, my brother. And as soon as the rest of this Muslim Ummah follows suit and we all unite to come together to work harder, to give more, then the Palestinians will be free once again.